Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon SoulSilver playthrough. This is part 33. And I'm just laughing because, well, people got so mad at me in the last part for comparing Dragonite to Justin Bieber. Maybe I should have said somebody different. Anyway, this is part 33, and we're doing now one of those fancy team switches that we all know and sometimes love. You know, it depends on what team you are on. But we are shifting out everybody. Everybody is going into the box, well, except for Fireball, of course. So Team Red Ranger, Team Bats and Video Games, Team Fluffer, Team Bly, and Team Wrestling. I am so sorry. But those of you on Team Big Fat Bug, Team Citizen Zap, Team Tartard, Team My Life is Average, and of course Team Contra, I almost forgot it. You are totally getting shouted out. So Big Fat Team switching out all 5 Pokemon except for Typhlosion because he... Oh no, we got one of those fancy problems there. But yes, once again, go into the menu, come out, we're good to go. Because he is the mainstay of this party and this playthrough. Alright then, so Poliwag is feeling pretty relaxed now since everybody's so far behind in level. It's time for another one of those fancy grinding sequences. So here we go with Tartard up first. He's getting himself a fancy Bubble Beam. And for Bubble Beam, we are going to forget Water Gun. Because, well, Water Guns, you know, it's not so great compared to Bubble Beam. Or at least it's not, in my opinion. Oh, and look how sneaky this is. I actually forgot that this happened. An evolution! Tartard is evolving into... What is it? Is it Charizard? No, it's Poliwhirl. Alright, so Poliwhirl is here. Team Tartard, you're getting a big thumbs up. Alright. So here we go, moving on. Oh, Tartard, what do you have to say about this? Well, I hope he finds it. Citizen Zap! Or, I should say Contra. Sorry, Contra, getting level up to 23, learning Natural Gift, but it's not really a great move. I don't really like it, so no thanks. You gotta hold off on Natural Gift. Oh, and a level up for Citizen Zap. Look at this, double fancy sneaky level up. It's been a while since I recorded this. And another sneaky evolution! Just like that. You know, I'm not broadcasting it. I'm not making it obvious. I'm just making the evolutions happen and just making them a surprise. Ampharos is here. One of my most favorite, all-time favorite Pokemon. Oh, and a new attack. Thunder Punch, not really so great because Ampharos is a special-oriented Pokemon. I love its pose, though. I love her, Citizen Zap, you know. People have jumped down my throat for not getting the genders correct. So apparently I'm going to forget Thundershock, because it's not as good. I think even with Stab, Thunder Punch is most definitely better than Thundershock. That's not Ampharos. Where is Ampharos? There he is. There she is. Citizen Zap, what do you have to say about this? Yeah, I think there is. There's one right down there. You're not going in there, though. Oh, that's right. I kept talking to Citizen Zap because, well, this depends. Depending on what nature your Pokemon is and what route specifically you are on at the moment, if you talk to your Pokemon at that certain route with that certain nature, sometimes it will find a shiny leaf. That's right. It's pretty much a very, very rare item to get. Oh god, My Life is Average in the middle of a fainting. Damn you, Geodude. But Big Fat Bug getting a level up. Holy cow, that was something else. So Big Fat Bug getting a level up and Pursuit. Look at how there's nobody on the battlefield. It's like all this stuff's going on and just there's nothing happening. It's weird. And now, you know, making it up to My Life is Average. I'm so sorry. A level up for MLIA. He's gonna learn Bite. That's right, you know, I'm making sure I get this right. Bite over Quick Attack. Because, you know, oh god. I specifically said that, you know, I remember, you know, in the old games, I held off until Eevee learned Bite. Until I let it evolve! And now I know that people are gonna get confused by this. Eevee evolves into Espeon. But it's nighttime. But there is a very, very simple explanation for that. And I will get to that just as soon as my life is average doesn't learn Swift. Because, well, we don't want it. I mean, it is special-oriented, but you know what? It's not so great. Now, let's see what my life is average has to say. Espeon. Fancy Espeon. Another one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Another reason why I picked it for this team. We're getting a round Pebble. And what does Espeon truly think? Espeon also wants to know about the fancy stream. And a level up for Espeon again. Now, aside from Espeon learning Psybeam, basically it was very easy how I did it. The emulator that I have, No Cache Zoomer, it has a very convenient function to let you change the time. And so basically what I did was I switched it over by like 12 hours, just before Eevee was about to evolve, and then after it evolved, I switched it back to the normal time. See, it's very simple. And, you know, don't even bother, okay? Don't even bother calling it cheating, because if you do, then I'm going to label you as a crazy person. Why? Because, well, it's basically like, imagine if I had the actual game. Imagine if I just waited for Eevee to evolve, you know, if it was going to, just waited until, like, the morning or something to have it evolve. It's like the same thing, you know? So it's not a big deal. No big deal. And I also get one of a very, very fancy Psychic type. The only Psychic type I have on this team. Love it. I love Espeon. Alright, so Tartar did not learn Mudshot. Oh, I loved this. Fireball was in the middle of using Dig, and Graveler blew itself up. Screw you, mister. Screw you. Alright, so Big Fat Bug is at level 33, learning Ancient Power. Ancient Power, very... you know, it's sort of an interesting move, so I'm going to get rid of Sonic Boom because, well, most Pokemon at this point really have a lot more than 20 HP, so, I mean, what's the point? Come on. Alright, so, with that in mind, Yanma learned Ancient Power. Now, when Yanma levels up, while knowing Ancient Power, it will evolve. And it will evolve into a very big fat bug. That's right, Yanmega. When I heard that cry for the first time, I was like, no, that cry is just weird. It's a weird cry. And, you know, it sounds like the 4th generation Pokemon, though, so whatever. Alright, so Big Fat Bug is... everybody loves the river. What's going on here? Look at the size of this thing! That is a big fat bug, I gotta say. And look at this one. This is another ownage. Contra was using Protect. Just on a whim, I had Contra use Protect. And wouldn't you know it, Graveler again using Self-Destruct. And that's a level up for Contra. Learning Spikes, 395. And, well, yeah, because this is basically one of the biggest reasons why I wanted Contra. Forretress itself is pretty much a very defensive Pokemon. And because it's defensive, it has sort of that defensive-minded moveset. So, Spikes really works into it well, you know, because it can lay Spikes and pretty much not have much happen to it. And just, you know, switch out, or attack, or even evolve, you know? That works out. You know, because like in the show, you know, they just randomly evolve for, like, God knows what reason. They always evolve for literally no reason. Like, they don't even, you know, because there's no, like... There's no, like, sense of leveling up in the show. There's no sense of, like, trading to evolve in the show. So, I mean, it's weird, you know? They evolve whenever. Alright, so no Mirror Shot for Contra. I wasn't really too into it, though. So that's why I didn't pick it. And Contra coming out of the grass. Hello! Hey, what's wrong? Dizzy? For the love of God, Contra, you learned Rapid Spin! How could you be dizzy? Anyway, Tartar learning Belly Drum. It's an interesting move. I definitely wanted to get it because it really spikes up attack. So yeah, getting rid of Hypnosis for that. I have somebody else for that, I think. I can't remember now. Anyway, we're back at the Pokemon Center. We are all healed up. And, there was something I was gonna say about Espeon. Oh, yeah, now I remember what it was. I remember so many people were wondering what I was going to evolve my Eevee into. And now you have your answer. It was Espeon. I didn't want to spoil it. I didn't want to tell anybody what I evolved it into, even my friends. You know, so what in the world? No, he wasn't cuddling up. He was spinning around in front of me. That's the weirdest cuddling I have ever seen. Alright, so everybody's at level 37 except for Fireball, who's at level 40. Now, for a moment, we have bats in video games to use Fly. Now, I didn't update the thing on the bottom because I'm not really using Crobat. I just need him to use Fly, you know, for the moment. And I'm going back to Goldenrod City for a very specific reason. Now, Espeon evolved. The reason why I named Eevee My Life is Average was because, well, it was a normal type and it was a pretty simple Pokemon, but now it's evolved, so I figured it's time to give it a new name. So I'm going to be changing its name. And what am I going to name this fancy Espeon? Well, let's find out. So it's not going to be MLIA anymore. It's going to be, I didn't super speed this up for some reason, I guess just to keep the tension up. It's going to be Espionage. Play on words. I like this name, but to be fair, I'm just gonna be honest here. I did not come up with this name. This name actually, I kind of found it somewhere else, but still, I like the name. I mean, I came up with everybody else's nickname. Isn't it time I got a rest? I mean, come on, I can't do all the work in this playthrough. Alright. And speaking of work, well, aside from healing up... Well, actually, no, I'm going to be switching out once again and getting, I believe, Tartard back. Well, speaking of work, we're going to be going to the Pokemon Gym, Blackthorn Gym, God, blah, 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 tongue twister, in just a second. Now, we're getting Tartard, like I said, back, and putting Crobat away, so everybody gets to take a nice little rest in the PC after all their hard work. And so now we're going out. Now, I had gotten quite a few TMs up to this point. Now, I basically decided to take this time to use them. So Citizen Zap is going to be learning the other Thunder TM that I bought. I'm going to be getting rid of Tackle because, well, it basically has no point. Shadow Ball, that's going to Espeon because, well, it's a special-oriented attack. It's pretty gosh darn powerful, and it is super effective against other Psychic types as well as Ghost types. And for the lack of Gyarados on the team, as well as the lack of Blah on the team, Tartard gets Surf. And Fireball is getting... Oh, that's right, it's time for a little rearranging. Alrighty then, well, whatever. But in this part 33, I want to begin sort of like a little contest of sorts. It's probably not one that's going to be going on for very long. It's basically a contest for you, the viewers, to come up with slogans for my other Pokemon's teams. Like Team Fireball, you know, like Team Citizen Zap and all that. I remember someone saying an easy slogan for Team Fireball, which basically gave me the idea for this little contest. It was basically, Fireball, go get 'em, you know? Like, that's the slogan for Team Fireball. Fireball, go get 'em, you know? And I had actually come up with a different slogan a while back for Team My Life is Average, well, which no longer exists, unfortunately. Everybody on Team My Life is Average has now... migrated to Team Espionage, and that was Eevee, making things easy, because, you know, he had the runaway skill, or ability, I should say. So yes, any slogans that you guys come up with, if I like them, I will most certainly shout them out in the playthrough. I will use them as that Pokemon team's official slogan, and I will give you, of course, full credit, and it'll get shouted out in a playthrough. And I believe that was a time skip. Now, basically what I did was I kind of got a little confused. Now, we're here in Blackthorn Gym, and it has gotten a complete redesign since Generation 2. Yeah, I'm off to a good start here. So I'm trying to figure out how these moving platforms work. It's taken me a little while. Now, I believe I came in, I had Fireball. All of a sudden, I had Big Fat Bug. Well, what happened was I talked to that sunglasses guy the first time, and as he was talking, like in the middle of him talking to me, Fireball just like randomly went inside its Pokeball. I thought that was a glitch. Because, I mean, I understood what he was saying. I thought it was supposed to happen like after he finished talking to me. So I went outside and like came back in and did it again, like just to make sure that it was actually supposed to happen. Alright, so we're here. Blackthorn City Gym. First trainer of the gym. This is an ace trainer and he has a Dratini, the first one of the playthrough. Dratini, very cool Pokemon, although I'm wondering why the heck he has a level 35 Dratini and did not have it evolve into Dragonair. Anyway, I do not believe that Dratini fainted, did it? Okay, it did. Weird. Yeah, I was kind of getting used to U-turn, you know? I believe, didn't I teach that to Yanmega? I can't even remember now. Oh god, it's all happened so fast. But yeah, I was kind of getting used to it, and I thought that, like, if I fainted it, you know, before it, like, came back to me, then I wouldn't have to switch out, but boy, was I horribly wrong. First Seadra of the playthrough. Now, we got Citizen Zap going on here. Citizen Zap is going to zap him good with Discharge, and I believe that should be it for that there Seadra. Yeah, it can't handle the fury of Team Citizen Zap. Alright, so another Dratini coming out. So this is going to get a little monotonous, so I figure I might as well do that one thing that I always do, and that's read shoutouts. First one is actually from Nintendo Raikiri again. I already read his favorite memory, but I forgot to get to his favorite Pokemon. His favorite Pokemon is Mudkip. I just loved it. I loved water types. I loved the evolution. I freaking used to pretend play Pokemon, and Pokemon I was. Mudkip. I like it so much because Sapphire is my favorite Pokemon game. I started with Mudkip and eventually went to Swampert. I just got so attached to it, so it became my favorite Pokemon. I also love Kirby, and I even made a Swampert Kirby. I also played as it when I got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. I cheated to get it. Oh, cheating. That's unacceptable. There is Dragonair. There is that one Pokemon that I said looks a lot better than its evolution does. And I actually had people agree with me in the comments of that video. People were like, you know, Dragonair just looks so, like, cool and so, you know, I don't know, I guess, like, swift looking. But Dragonair looks like a big, goofy dinosaur, you know, it's like Barney or something. But Dragonair is like, Dragonite, I should say. Dragonite is ridiculously powerful, so, you know, of course people are going to prefer the big, loafy-looking dinosaur over Dragonair, the cooler-looking one. And that U-turn took him out. Now, it actually did not have me switch out this time, but that was because that was her last Pokemon, so there was, like, really no need to. Alright. So, here we go. We're moving on now. Those sort of, like, those teleport-looking things with, like, the white rings coming up, those will teleport you immediately back to the beginning of the gym. And I just had to test that to see what it does, and then it doesn't take you back. Oops! So yeah, we're for some reason not... Oh, that's right, because it only takes like a second to get back. Not time skipping. In the meantime, Errors Invalid says, my favorite memory of Pokemon was when I got Sapphire from one of my friends before I moved. It wasn't a new copy either, it was one of their own. They had two and they just gave it to me. I gave all of my friends some Pokemon cards and we all traded two. I think that that was a few days before I moved. I put about 500 plus hours into that game. It was my first game I actually owned myself, and that makes it that much more special. It sounds a bit sappy, but my copy of Sapphire holds so many memories for me. Sappy, Sapphire, you get it? You don't? Well, too bad. You know, this is playing with Maui you're dealing with. I always have, like, tons of corny jokes to spew at you. Alright, so we got another Ace Trainer there. Getting past that fancy other puzzle-like platform thingy. And he's got himself a level 35 Horsey! What is this guy thinking? Nobody keeps a Horsey around for that long. I mean, not unless they're like Misty or something. God knows her Horsey should be like evolved. Isn't it? Oh lord. Now this is another thing that I have to look up. Alright, let's look it up. Misty's Horsey. And Misty's Horsey... If it, you know, could actually look, because it takes forever. Apparently it's still a Horsey. This Pokemon has not evolved. What? Oh, God, I was going to say, apparently it appears in Pokemon Stadium, and it's level 50. Who keeps a Horsey for that long? Misty, what is wrong with you? Anyway, Ace Trainer Fran Drescher wants to battle, and she's got herself another Seadra. Now, Parakeet Man 2000 says, I remember at one time when I was little, I was playing Pokemon Silver on my old Game Boy Color, as well as on the computer via emulator at the same time. Just one of my favorite memories. As for my favorite Pokemon, that's kind of hard. I think I'd have to go with either Gyarados or Dragonite. Oh, there's... You know, we're in Blackthorn Gym, so it's all about Dragon types, so... You know, those two pretty much work out. Even though Gyarados is... Oh, God. Having a bit of trouble with the Seadra. Yeah, I kind of took my time with it. I wasn't really, like, seeing it as a threat. so I sort of like messed with it a little bit. You know, I decided to set up Rain Dance, and then Thunder, which is another combination of the game. If you use Thunder when rainy conditions are in effect, Thunder will hit 100% of the time. And the reason why I did that was because, well, I like I said, I didn't really find it a threat, and then, of course, it starts kicking my butt. It was interesting, one of his... Oh, yeah, how he said he used to play it on the Game Boy Color as well as the emulator. I did that, too, myself. I actually, like, played a bunch of the games, like, at the same time. Like, I'd have, like, each of the generations open. Like, I'd have Pokemon Blue open, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Sapphire, you know, like, just playing them all at the same time. It was fun. You know, like, sometimes I would do, like, a certain, like, team run. Like, I would have all the same team or, like, a specific type. And, you know, good times, good times. Having fun with Pokemon. That's what it's all about. Alright, so we are waltzing on over into another ace trainer. I wonder what he could have. Well, his chance of losing, not even 1%. Well, then that means that there is indeed a chance that he can lose, and that his Dragonair could go fancy bye-bye. So we got Espeon up first, and that fancy thing is used in agility, but I decided to have Espeon mess around with it a bit. Use Sand Attack, and a couple Psybeams, and a Shadow Ball later, and Espionage takes it down without even getting tapped. Yeah, sure. You just got owned. Just deal with it. Let's see. Chaz Roughwear says, okay, then my favorite Pokemon memory, Pokemon Yellow. First day I got my Pikachu, I swore to train him. I knew the road would be a hard and tough road, but when I faced Gary, I feel a rush of excitement just so I can battle. And so that is why my favorite Pokemon is always and will be Pikachu. You know, it's very epic. Epic wording there. Oh, God. And we are up to Claire now. That is the gym leader of the Blackthorn Gym. And that's it for this part of the Pokemon SoulSilver playthrough. Sorry for ending it so abruptly. Join me in part 34. We'll be battling Claire for the 8th gym badge of the Johto region. See you all next time.